Okay, Keir, so a 1-1 draw at home at the South Bank, first league game at home of the season, a disappointing game for our supporters. As disappointing as it is for you?
Yeah, definitely. Poor performance. Dropped points probably across the course of 90 minutes, but fair play to Shrivenham. They've improved massively from last season, signed some good players, a couple out of the Southern League as well, worked tirelessly, made it really difficult for us, and they're probably the happier to come away with the point. But saying that, they had a couple of chances early on in the first half that caught us in behind. But if you think we probably should have scored 4 or 5 today, but you could pick any one of my interviews over the course of the time that I've been here, since we've come up into the Premier Division, how many times have I said now, oh yeah, we've dominated the game, we've missed chances, but then we've conceded a sloppy goal. We've done it 4 or 5 times last year. Both games against Long Elevens last year. The Westbury game. There was the Malvern game where we were 1-0 up until the 84th minute. It's just something that if you want to be progressing on, then sometimes when you don't play well, and we haven't today by any means, just grind out the 1-0. Okay. And the goal we've conceded is so poor, so sloppy. Just clear our lines if there's in any consideration of getting caught on the ball, and we didn't do that. Didn't defend the second balls late on, and then when we go 1-0 down, we all look around each other and start with that same old mentality of it's someone else's fault. Boys need to take responsibility. I know from what I've seen of the first 4 games that we have not got any improvement of mentality from last year. So we'll be where we are for the foreseeable future until that changes. And look, that's fine. Like, that is what we are. We'll be a top 6, top 7 side maybe. And if we're going to improve on the 5th spot from last year and challenge for promotion, we're absolutely nowhere near it, I can tell you now. So maybe all the noise of people saying, oh yeah, of course we're going to kick on this year, it would be the same as what we've been now for the last year. We are not ruthless enough, and we don't care about throwing away points enough. Like, I'll now have to go in and speak to supporters and, you know, and explain the performance and speak to you guys and then speak to the directors. Is an abysmal performance. But again, we should still be 4-0 up at half time, and we haven't been. We've missed, and I mean absolute golden edge chances that you cannot do. And if you make the afternoon a little bit more comfortable for yourself, it doesn't matter if you don't play well. But we've not passed the football enough. As soon as we went back to 1-1, we just start slinging the ball forward and hoping that we can just get lucky from a set play or something, and it doesn't work like that. We have to keep believing and evolving and play football, and we did in the first half, and we opened them up time and time again, and you don't take your chances. We go in 1-0. I almost begged it not to happen. Stay 1-0 for as long as you can, and then they nick the 1-1. I could just write it. I know what they're like now, and I warned them at half time, and then I didn't even lose my temper after the game in there. I'd literally just said I could have wrote that for you because I know exactly what you like now, and we've done it time and time again. So what will be is we'll have some good performances where we turn over teams, and we'll have some performances like today where when we don't kill games off, then we've got an absolute calamity in us, like we have done with the goal. And it cannot be, and I will take responsibility when I've got the team selection wrong or formation wrong or anything like that. It cannot be down to the management. We prepared them as properly. I got a full report on Shrivenham after their Didcot game. Knew what to expect. Done everything preparation-wise to make sure the boys were looked after, as I always do, and they have really disappointed me today with the performance and the attitude, desire, commitment, all not there. Didn't care enough just about, and then another 1-1 draw when should have been 3 points. So yeah, that's what we are now, and we'll be absolute mediocrity now for the rest of the season. We'll win a few games, we'll draw a couple of games, we'll get beat by the better teams. We won't be in Worcester's league, we won't be in Malvern's league, we won't be in Cribb's league. They are turning over performances and grinding out results, and we're just not on that level yet, and that's something that I'll have to accept, the players are going to have to accept, and the supporters and the expectation around the club is high because of last season and how well we did in our first season. But we're not an unknown quantity anymore. We're a scout for people because of the side that we've got here, and you know what we do off the scenes and what you do on social media. You know, people want to come here and they want to grind out results, and they're delighted with a point, and fair play to them, they deserved it. So yeah, it's a disappointing afternoon for me. Put me in a foul mood for the weekend, and now we'll have to look forward to putting things right on Tuesday against one of the best teams in the league, which is Cribs. And they've started now, I think, three games, 3 wins. I think they'll be top of the table now. So yeah, that'll be the toughest game of the season so far, on the back of a poor performance. I know we're missing players today, but the side that we put out should have enough. So yeah, disappointing afternoon, and hope the players are disappointed as I am with it, because it's just the same old story.
The weather has been a big talking point within the game this weekend. Did that have any impact on your game plan going into today?
Not with team selection or anything like that. I made sure that the boys had everything they had before kick-off. We made sure that they've got all their energy packs and things like that, ice packs during the breaks and things like that to keep them hydrated. And yeah, it's hot and it's hard, and there was lots of stoppages because of the water breaks, but it's the same for both sides. And saying that, we still squandered chance after chance after chance, and literally for the last 15 minutes I just sat there and just watched without trying to lose my temper at situations, and just look at people's body languages, and people just don't care enough. They don't care as much as me, for sure. And that's the most disappointing thing for the afternoon, is that if I can't impact the squad in the team to get us 3 points, then there's going to be a serious problem. Maybe I need to change some things with personnel. If people are just going through the motions and happy to turn up and things like that, and that's something for me to have a look at in time for Tuesday. But there's not one person in that lineup today, and the subs that come on that can say that they played well, and that's a worrying situation for me. No alarm bells. Sure, we're only 3 league games into the season, but we've drawn 2 and won 1, and without being disrespectful to Shrivenham and Chip and Sodbury, that last season that they were down the bottom half, and now we're going to go and ask to challenge Malvern and Worcester and in Cribs for a promotion. Absolutely no chance. Absolutely miles off it. So that's just where we are at the moment, and it will take time for us to develop into one of those title challenging sides. But I can tell you for free, it won't be this season now.
As you touched on, next up is Cribs, a fixture that normally I look forward to. They're normally very, very close games, but am I right to be worried about Tuesday?
Yeah, absolutely, especially if we can continue to play like that. They're one of the favourites to challenge for the title, and rightly so. They finished 3rd last year behind Bishop's Cleeve and Westbury, who both obviously promoted to the Summer League. So yeah, they'll be the favourites. I know that their infrastructure and their wage structure and things like that don't match Malvern's and Worcester's to challenge, but what they've got there is that they've got an ever-improving side, and they know how to grind out wins. Last season we done it a few times, but they seem to they can do that every single week. They can, once they go ahead, I would rarely think that they'll concede. They know how to see out games, and at the moment we don't. So if we start slow and don't produce a performance that's right up there for our best level on Tuesday, then it'd probably be a comfortable evening for them. And that's something that really worries me going into Tuesday night, if people not caring enough about winning football matches, because that is the ultimate end game for us. I know we can't win every week, and it's a draw. I'm not talking like we've lost, but it's just a disappointing performance, and one that I know the expectation's higher this year, as I've said, but one that just keeps happening. Just lacklustre, and then we go into that miserable, moany attitude. You'll never really catch me ever moaning and being negative in the change room. I'm always on the positive, always on the front foot, and today is the first time I felt like, that everything that I've done and warned them about and prepared them about is gone out the window, and they've decided that they're just going to revert back to old habits. And that was what we needed to change this year, to see out and grind out wins. And we were 3-1 up against Wantage and drew 3-3. Then we went into the Chip and Sodbury game with 4-0 up, conceded 2. Then we were 1-0 up today, and we've conceded another sloppy goal. People have got to care more. People have got to throw their life on the line, okay, and be prepared to see a game at 1-0. Yes, we should have scored 3 or 4, but the goal we've conceded is a shambles. And like I said, I haven't gone ballistic after the game, because it's one of those things now where you can't just go in there and roll up teams and in individuals and players. That's been and gone now. But it's the disappointing aspect for me, is that I don't think that enough of them cared about that, and hopefully that they'll come and speak to me, and we'll have a conversation before the game on Tuesday against Cribs, and we'll look to put things right. But that's all we can do. We've not been turned over, we've not been beat. It's just one of those games where I expect us to put on good performance in front of the home fans and give them something to go home about. And unfortunately, we've disappointed in all areas today.
Could part of the attitude issue that you've got out of today's game been complacency after the great 5-1 win that we had at their place last season?
Yeah, I think even might have been 6 or 7 last year, and I warned them about that. I literally prepared them yesterday and sent out a scout report and had video footage from the Didcot game that they played in the week, and they lost 4-3 on Tuesday night against a Southern League outfit. And I told them that they're way better this year, and they signed and recruited well. I know they've signed a couple from Highworth, and they just looked like they cared more about getting a point than we did about getting 3, and that's fair enough. You remember last season when we were here against Shrivenham, we drew 0-0. So again, it's just having different keys to unlock different doors, and at the moment we've probably only just got one answer. And when we start to panic and we just revert back to just shelling it straight down their throat and hoping that we get 50-50s, and we haven't won enough of those. At times we played really well today, in little, but when those chances don't come off and then they concede, it's just the panic stations that goes through. Everyone's in free fall, and it's just so disappointing. The squad that we've got here now needs to be a lot better. So hopefully it wasn't complacency, because I made sure that everyone was known that it's a completely different side from last year, and they've improved massively. And then the performance, as soon as the first 10 minutes had gone, you could see it was going to be a really, really competitive game, and fair play to them. They battled for every single ball. They didn't have as many chances as us, but they probably deserved their point in the end for how well they defended and threw themselves in front of things. So they'll be going home probably happier than I will with the point. But saying that, we're still unbeaten in the league, and then we move on to Tuesday now. So I've got to try and take some positives and pull my attitude towards the situation, and pull the boys up ready for Tuesday. So yeah, that'd be my next job.